Hello everybody, Mac here. Welcome back to the show. Walmart CollectorCon 2023, well the first one anyway of 2023, started yesterday. A 2-day event, and supposedly Walmart has something like 45, 46 store exclusives that they're going to be unveiling yesterday and some today. And as far as yesterday goes, the only thing I was really interested in was the G.I. Joe figures, the Night Force Big Ben, and of course the Range Viper. I was only interested in the G.I. Joe stuff, and I ended up getting mine off of Pulse. There was some speculation, not much, not widely, but there was some speculation that for the CollectorCon, all of the McFarlane figures that were going to be Walmart exclusives that have been hitting the stores, that they were going to finally be released online. And that didn't happen yesterday, but who knows if it happened today. And of those figures, one is obviously Beast Boy, and the other one is this guy right here, the Eradicator. Now, despite not being available online, they have been showing up in stores. That's how I got this one. I actually found it. It was the only one in my Walmart. I just happened to stop by and see him front and center, right on the shelf, wasn't hidden behind anything, had to snag him, didn't know if I was going to get to see him again. Now, this isn't necessarily my favorite version of the Eradicator. As a matter of fact, I'm not familiar with this version of Eradicator at all. I'm not familiar with the Shockwave storyline. I didn't read Invasion of the Supermen. I'm assuming he's this way, something to do with the Daxamites that he was leading. I don't know. I'm more familiar with the Eradicator from, what was that, the 90s? Late 80s, early 90s, during the death of Superman, when he was one of the Supermen during the reign of Superman. Past that, don't know what this is all about. Have no doubt that we'll probably eventually get a non-gold label Eradicator in his more classic look. But since McFarlane unveiled Steel, I didn't want to take a chance. I want to get like all of the reign of Supermen. We got Superboy coming. We have the Eradicator. Steel will be coming. It's only a matter before we get Henshaw. So what we have is a gold label Walmart exclusive, currently only in the stores, not online, can't be purchased online as of time of this recording. Like I said, today is day 2 of Walmart CollectorCon. We'll wait and see. So in the spirit of Walmart, and in the spirit of the CollectorCon, I figured we could take a look at something that is a Walmart exclusive that maybe not everybody is getting their hands on. And with this, we have our standard gold label package fare. We have the gold label up here, DC Universe or DC Multiverse, Eradicator on the bottom. You saw over here, Eradicator, the Shockwave storyline window. There's a sticker. I wonder if this was sent to somebody, they changed their mind. Whoop. They changed their mind and returned it at my Walmart. I just realized that with this label sticker right there. Huh. On the bottom, nothing to talk about. On the back, we got a really decent comic shot of the Eradicator. I like that. He looks good. The power effects right here, the glowy hands, that's pretty cool. And even glowing in his mouth. I like this. I think this might actually be a panel, or at least a copy of a panel from the comic. Because when I was trying to look up the Shockwave storyline, an image like this, very similar to this, kept popping up. And then up top, we have more window, so that when it's sitting on the shelf, light can come down, light up the figure inside. So, without further ado, let's get this box open, and let's take a look at McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Eradicator. Alright, here he is, the Eradicator, out of the box, and putting the tape measure to him, we can see that he is approximately 7 1/4 inches to the top of his pompadour. Taking a look at the Eradicator up close, there's one thing I want to draw attention to before we take a look at anything else, and that is this cape. We all know that Todd loves to have capes in motion to give it a little bit more of a dramatic look, maybe a little bit of an action pose, but this might be a little too much. Because, I don't know if you noticed, but when I was measuring him, he wasn't exactly standing up. He was leaning forward a little, and that is because the cape is longer than the feet. And with this, it tends to want to either push the figure forward Or if you try and like billow it out to stand him upright, it might be a little too heavy. I don't know. It just never seems to like be like a straight up stance. The other thing is that it's not really connecting cleanly to the S shield right here. I don't know if the S shield was missculpted or if the ends of the cape just weren't sculpted correctly. I feel like this should have all been one piece and then just glued right onto there. But it doesn't really match up to the S shield very well. And also while he's up close, you can see there's a little bit of overspray right there with some black. I feel like I can rub that off, or I can get some red and just give it a dab to get rid of it. Now, as far as the legs go, I don't have the Hush Superman yet, but I think these are the Hush Superman legs. I don't think these are the Rebirth legs. It's hard for me to tell without having Hush here, but I think these are the Hush Superman legs. You can even see the boots right there underneath the paint job. So there's a little bit of reuse, but it was bound to happen with McFarlane. But when you get like so much new reusing a pair of legs, it's not like Marvel where they basically just sell you the same figure, put a head sculpt on it, and call it a day with a new paint job. So reusing legs, I'm okay with that. I really, really like the shiny gloss to his skin tone. His suit has a little bit of gloss to it as well, but the skin tone, the face, the neck, I really like the high gloss that this is, contrasted by the matte black of his hair. I really, really like that. And then you have these bright, like, booster gold goggles right here that, once again, I'm not familiar with the Shockwave storyline. Is there supposed to be a black line there? Are they supposed to be Ray-Bans, like wraparounds? I don't know. I might have to touch that up a little bit, too. That's a little disappointing that there's a break in them on both sides right there. So taking a look at the articulation, the head will do a full 360. He can tilt. He has some really good tilt, actually. He can look up pretty well for a flying character. He can look down. Arms will do a full 360 spin. Obviously, this one cannot. He can barely even get his arm all the way up. But I do like how they have a little bit of a cut right here so that you can at least try to get his arm up a little bit. He has a butterfly joint. Shoulders come up past 90. Bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows with some really good travel. Sorry if it keeps going in and out of focus. All of this black, it doesn't really focus real well. He has the hinge swivel of the wrists, so they'll go up and down, or you can do this, and then you can do this. Oh, sorry, then they'll go up and down, and then you can adjust them to go in and out. You can see he has this ab cut right here that he can do a full 360 at that point. He has a little bit of rock right there. He can go back pretty far, and I like that they continue the color right here. There's no rub yet, so hopefully that'll stay, but I like how it just sort of looks like the suit is stretching out, so that whenever he is back, it doesn't actually look unnatural. Forward, not so much, but then we also have a ball joint at the waist that he'll do a full 360 spin at the waist. He can really go back, but then you start to gap. He can really come forward, and there is where you get your side-to-side rock. Now his legs will come up to 90. They'll go back. They have that hidden swivel in here that it's not very good on this one. It's not very good on the Eradicator. Double jointed knees with some decent travel. Ankles pivot. Ankles rock back. Ankles rock forward. Forward facing pin for some rocker. And toe articulation. And I don't know if you noticed while I was moving him around, but something else that he suffers from, like, you know, that diaper that a lot of McFarlane figures are suffering from. But I don't know if you noticed while I was moving him, like if it comes up, it does tend to shift on him whenever you move the legs around. And it's really loose on him. Like, even once you put the legs back down, you try and put everything back into position, this needs to be situated a little to get him back into position, get everything all lined up once again. And something else that I forgot to mention, I don't know if you can tell, but his suit is so tight, you can see the Eradicator's belly button. Who knew androids had belly buttons? Out of the box, the Eradicator comes with a pair of clenched fists. He also comes with a pair of these sort of off-colored, discolored, I don't know, like combat grip hands. I don't know. I don't know if this is supposed to sort of represent his energy discharge, like what we saw on the back of the box. I don't know if... Focus. I don't know if mine has a lot of mispaint or if it's supposed to be that way. I'm guessing that's a lot. Oh, that is a lot of mispaint right there. That's kind of a bummer. Might have to get some gold or some yellow, some mustard yellow, and take care of that myself. I'm not sure what the purpose is. Like I said, I think it's trying to emulate the energy discharge, and we'll just take a look at his card here early. See how he has these coming off of his hands, that I would have rather, instead of like these open gonna getcha hands, they would have done something like maybe, not necessarily Hal's boxing glove, but something like this, that like it would just be an energy effect that would fit over top of his fists. I don't know. If that is what they were going for, I don't think it works very well. You saw already that Eradicator comes with his collector's card with the same image on the card that was on the back of the box. And then on the back, we have his bio. If you want to read it, pause it and read. And like all McFarlane DC figures, he comes with a stand with the DC logo tampoed right there on the front. And now for size comparison, here he is with the only two McFarlane Supermen that I have, Superman from Action Comics 1000 and Superman from the Dark Knight Returns wave. Here he is beside a few more McFarlane Toys offerings of the Supers. We have General Zod and Superboy Prime. Here he is beside Mattel Masterverse 40th Anniversary He-Man and Masters of the Universe movie Skeletor. Here he is beside McFarlane Toys Mortal Kombat 11 Sub-Zero and Eridan Briok Glass from The Witcher 3 The Wild Hunt. For a 6-inch scale comparison, here he is beside Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra Trooper and Hasbro Marvel Legends Hand Ninja. Here he is beside Lanyard Toys City Hunter Predator and Xenomorph Drone. And finally, here he is beside NECA Toys Dungeons & Dragons Warduke and Grimsword. So the Eradicator is okay. He's not the worst McFarlane has put out, not by far, but he has put out better. I feel like the Eradicator was put out just to put something else out with the S logo on it. I don't know why, but it doesn't feel like a whole lot of time and attention went into this figure. Like when you get a McFarlane figure, you can tell, wow, they really took their time with this. They really respected this character. They really respected this figure. They really wanted to bring their A game to the table. Or you can get a figure, open it up, and well, they tried, and that's really all you can say when you look at it. This one is kind of somewhere in between right there. And I think what's holding it back, quite honestly, what's holding it back for me is one, the cape. It has way too much flair coming off to the side. I get what he was trying to do, but I'm not a big fan of that. And also the cape not connecting to the S shield. Come on, guys. Come on, like, you gotta connect the shield and the S. I mean, you gotta connect the shield and the cape whenever you're going for that kind of look. That really should have been just one piece and then glued it down over his shoulders. Also, the energy effect hands, even if the paint was better on mine, I still don't think it would have quite the effect that they were going for. I really feel like there should have been some, slip over his hand energy effects. Kind of like what we see in the card, just like some translucent yellow pieces that would slip over his fists. I didn't talk about it much at the beginning of the video, but the more I was playing around with this guy, the more I was posing him, the more I was looking at him, I really, really do like the face sculpt of this figure. The only problem is that because it's all black, you kind of lose some of the detail. It's all black and it's very shiny, and the shininess and the square jaw and just like the look of him is very stunning. I really like the look with that shiny black skin, the matte hair, like we talked about earlier. But you kind of lose how good the face sculpt is when you first look at it because of how just featureless that black paint job makes him. In addition to the cape, something else that bothers me is the breakup in his glasses, in the goggles, on the sides there. Like I said, I don't know if that's supposed to be there or if it's supposed to just be a full wraparound look. I really wish that they would have painted in those black lines on the side and just made it like one-piece wraparound Ray-Bans almost. Other than that, the costume looks good. The rest of the sculpt of the figure looks good. I don't have much of a problem with that. The articulation is what it is. You saw its basic McFarlane articulation. We know what we're going to get at this point. Like a lot of McFarlane figures, he's not balanced very well for just taking a neutral stance. I really think that is one of the reasons why McFarlane sends a figure stand out with every figure that he sells, not just in the Multiverse line, but in every line, because I think he knows that his figures don't balance very well, and they won't take like just a neutral stance position very well. If you can find this figure, get him. I don't think you'll be disappointed, especially if they keep him around the $20 price range. Just check the paint job on yours before you pick him up. If you can't find this figure, I don't know what to tell you. I have a feeling this is not the last we've seen of the Eradicator. After getting the classic Robin, like the Nightfall Robin, after getting that all-red costume Robin that came out first, I really feel like, or even like now we're getting like the standard Hush standard Hush Superman after getting the gold label possessed Hush Superman. I really feel like there's going to be a version of the Eradicator that's going to have the more classic paint style. The skin tone, maybe not the yellow goggles, but sort of like, what were they, red, I think, in Reign of the Supermen. I really think we're going to get a Reign of the Supermen version of the Eradicator. And the reason I say that is because we already have Superboy coming, we already have Steel coming out, we've seen pictures of him, we know he's coming down the line, and eventually, you know we're going to get Henshaw, you know we're going to get Cyborg Superman, we're going to get all four of the Reign of Supermen. At some point, I wouldn't be surprised if we even get the regeneration suit Superman with a mullet at this point. If you haven't been able to get the Eradicator, I hope you enjoyed this look at him. I hope you got everything you wanted for CollectorCon. I already got my Joe stuff. I don't know if there's anything coming out today that I'm going to jump on, but we shall see. So until next time, my friends, play well, stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, thank you for watching.